It happens in an instant. A rude comment, a disrespectful action. Your heart races, your face flushes. You're caught off guard, and in that moment of shock, you either stammer out a weak reply or say nothing at all. Hours later, of course, the perfect comeback finally comes to you. We've all been there, but what if you could reclaim that moment? Not with a petty insult, but with a response so elegant, so strategically sound, that it doesn't just shut them down, it reveals their rudeness for the weakness it is. Today, we turn to the master of power dynamics, Niccolò Machiavelli, for a playbook on how to leave any rude person completely speechless. Machiavelli's goal was never a petty victory. It was the long-term preservation and enhancement of power. In any interaction, your power is your composure, your reputation, and your ability to control the frame. Rudeness is an attempt to steal that power. Here's how to defend it and claim a superior position. The first and most important principle is to fortify yourself. A rude person's primary weapon is the emotional reaction they provoke in you. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must avoid contempt and hatred, but he must also not be governed by the emotions of others. The technique is simple. The pause and detach. When confronted with rudeness, your first move is silence. A 2 to 3 second pause. This does 3 things. It disrupts their script. It gives you time to engage your logic, and it broadcasts immense control. In that pause, detach. View their comment not as a personal attack, but as a strategic move in a game. This emotional distance is your fortress wall. Imagine a coworker says, "That report was surprisingly coherent." Instead of firing back, you pause. You look at them calmly. The silence becomes awkward for them. You've just seized control of the emotional tempo. Next, you hold up the mirror of shame. This is your most potent weapon. Instead of reacting, respond with a calm, genuinely curious question. You are forcing them to look at their own behavior. Use a neutral tone and say something like, "I'm curious. What was your intention in saying that? Or could you explain the meaning behind that comment? I want to make sure I understand you correctly." A rude comment thrives in ambiguity. By forcing them to explain it, you bring the ugliness into the light. They are now in the position of having to justify their nastiness, which makes them look foolish. They will often backtrack with, "It was just a joke," to which you can simply reply, "I see," and let the silence hang. You have now framed them as the awkward one, not you. Our third principle is the art of the dignified exit. Machiavelli was a pragmatist. He knew that not every hill was worth dying on. Sometimes, the most powerful response is to simply end the interaction on your own terms. Engaging in a prolonged battle with a rude person is like wrestling with a pig. You both get dirty, and the pig likes it. After employing the pause or the mirror, you can simply say with a calm smile, "Nevertheless, I believe we should get back to the agenda. Or, well, I think we're done here. Have a good day." Then, physically disengaged. You have not fled. You have declared the interaction beneath you and terminated it. This is a power move that leaves them with no one to fight. For situations where a sharper response is warranted, you wield polite disdain. You don't use a club, you use a stiletto. The goal is not to insult, but to demonstrate superior wit and social intelligence. You can agree and amplify, or you can reframe. If someone is being condescending, you can say, "You're absolutely right." It's so helpful when you point out the obvious. This agrees with them on the surface, but highlights the irrelevance of their comment. Alternatively, you can reframe their insult as a positive. If they say, "You're so stubborn," you can reply, "Yes, I am persistent when I believe in something. Thank you for noticing." You have taken their weapon and melted it down into a metal. The final and most Machiavellian principle is to win the long game through strategic reputation management. The true victory is not in a single interaction, but in the overall perception of you. As Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." By consistently responding to rudeness with unshakable grace and strategic wit, you build a reputation as someone who is composed, intelligent, and cannot be easily rattled. People will gravitate towards your energy. The rude person, by contrast, will be seen as volatile and toxic. In the long game, they isolate themselves. Your power grows, theirs diminishes. Let's bring it all together. When faced with rudeness, you are not a helpless victim. You are a strategist. Fortify. Master your internal state with a pause. Mirror. Force self-awareness with a polite, probing question. Exit. Control the interaction by choosing to walk away with dignity. Strike. If necessary, use polite disdain to demonstrate superior wit. And transcend. Win the long game by building an impeccable reputation. This is how you master the game. You don't sink to their level. You raise the level of the entire interaction. Now, I want to hear from you. This is a practical skill, and we learn from each other. In the comments, describe a situation where you faced rudeness. Which of these 5 strategies do you think would have worked best, and why? Let's build a playbook together. If you're ready to transform how you handle conflict and command respect in every area of your life, then your next strategic move is to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. We decode the principles of power every single week. And to learn how to apply this strategic mindset to your finances, watch our deep dive. How the smart get rich quickly, Machiavelli, and money.